Tragedy strikes New York. World Trade Center attacked.
Some secrets were never meant to be found.
He thought fear could keep him safe.
Reconnaissance confirms no activity.
Inshallah.
But one night, even his walls couldn't keep the truth out.
Command, we are approaching target.
Clear the next level.
What was on bin Laden's hard drive?
Team, move up. Clear the next level. Copy that. Moving.
Watch till the end, because what's inside those drives will change how you see history itself.
Good evening. We begin tonight with a global security briefing.
The president is set to address the nation.
What if I told you there was a man so powerful his name alone could freeze nations, and yet he spent his final years trapped behind walls he built himself? A man hunted by satellites, betrayed by silence, and surrounded not by soldiers, but by his own family. Inside his secret compound, there was no internet, no phone, no contact with the world. Just chickens, vegetable patches, and the world's most wanted man. He thought he could hide forever. He thought fear could keep him safe. But the night would come when even his walls couldn't keep the truth out. Because when US Navy SEALs stormed that compound, they didn't just find a man, they found something far more dangerous: his secrets, letters, files, hard drives, thousands of documents that exposed the final fragile mind of Osama bin Laden. So before we begin, if you believe some truths are worth uncovering, hit like and subscribe, because this story will change the way you see history itself. It's May 1st, 2011. Abbottabad, Pakistan. A quiet city wrapped in the kind of silence that feels too perfect. Inside a walled compound, a man wakes up from uneasy sleep. He knows this sound. It's not thunder. It's the sound of helicopters. Osama bin Laden, the world's most wanted fugitive, is finally face to face with the sound of his ending. For nearly a decade, he's lived here under false shadows. No internet, no phone lines, no traceable footprints. He moves like a ghost within his own home. A man who once commanded armies now hides from the echo of his own name. That night, he lies beside his youngest wife, Amal, their child sleeping between them. When the walls shake, she reaches for the lamp. He stops her hand. He knows the light could be the last thing they ever turn on. Seconds later, chaos. The door breaks, gunfire splits the silence, and within minutes, Osama bin Laden, the man who haunted the modern world, is dead. But his death wasn't the real discovery. What came next was. As the Navy SEALs cleared the house, they stumbled upon stacks of computers, handwritten letters, and dozens of hard drives. Inside them, 3 terabytes of Al-Qaeda's hidden life. When the data reached CIA headquarters in Virginia, analysts realized they were staring at something historic, the most complete, unfiltered portrait of Al-Qaeda ever captured. At first, they saw the expected: propaganda videos, news clippings, even family photos. But buried deeper were letters, thousands of them, written by bin Laden himself. They weren't the words of a warrior. They were the writings of a man unraveling. He was isolated, paranoid. He begged his followers to stay loyal, to obey his every command, but they had already stopped listening. The legend of Al-Qaeda was crumbling from within, and the man who once inspired terror across continents was slowly losing control of his own creation. Long before that night,
Bin Laden had already begun losing the war he started. Back in the 1980s, he was a hero in Tora Bora, funding the Mujahideen's fight against the Soviet invasion. He built tunnels, carried weapons, and believed he was chosen to lead a divine revolution. But power changes everything. He turned victory into ideology, and ideology into violence. When he orchestrated 9/11, he thought it would push America out of the Middle East. Instead, it unleashed a storm that would destroy his entire empire. He had called the US a paper tiger.
The invasion of Afghanistan shattered his network, scattering his followers across mountains and borders. From his letters, one truth becomes clear. Bin Laden had no idea what came next. No plan, no structure, no exit. While the world feared his name, he was writing apology notes to his children, confessing regret for giving them too little of his time. He told them, "I chose a road filled with dangers. Forgive me." It's haunting. Even monsters have moments when the mirror wins.
Inside the compound, his life became smaller. He spent his days editing letters, obsessing over details like a corporate manager. He scolded affiliates for poor branding, urged them to stop killing Muslim civilians, and tried to rebrand Al-Qaeda's image. He micromanaged from a room with no windows, no internet, no sunlight. He was no longer leading a revolution. He was maintaining a myth. While the world still trembled at his name, his organization fractured into chaos. Regional groups stopped following orders. They turned on each other. Some even condemned him for being too weak. Meanwhile, the US military believed Al-Qaeda was expanding. They poured billions into the fight, unaware that bin Laden's empire was already dying. In his final letters, he pleaded for unity, but even his most loyal lieutenants had gone silent. He was shouting into the void he created.
Then came the Arab Spring. Protests ignited across the Middle East. Egypt, Libya, Syria. Dictators fell. People demanded freedom. For the first time in years, bin Laden felt hope. This was what he'd always wanted: the fall of corrupt regimes. He saw a chance to make Al-Qaeda relevant again. In his compound, he and his family debated day and night. His daughters, Maryam and Samaya, challenged his ideas, questioned his beliefs. They told him the people didn't want holy war anymore. They wanted democracy. And for once, he had no answer. He began drafting a statement, his response to the uprisings. His daughters helped him write it. But before he could release it to the world came for him. May 1st, 2011, Abbottabad. The night he feared finally arrived. The sky roared with blades. Walls shook. His youngest son cried as soldiers closed in. By dawn, it was over. But the real revelation wasn't in the body, it was in the files. Inside those drives were nearly 500,000 documents, videos, memos, handwritten notes. They told the story of a man collapsing under his own legend. He wasn't a mastermind in control. He was an aging fugitive in denial. He wrote about fear. He wrote about faith. He wrote about losing both. In the years that followed, researchers spent thousands of hours decoding the data. They found a leader who had stopped leading, a terrorist begging his fractured network to stop killing the wrong people.
and a father trying to raise his children from behind a wall. The myth of Osama bin Laden was powerful, but the man behind it was ordinary, afraid, uncertain, human. And maybe that's the most terrifying part. Because in the end, it wasn't justice or drones or war that ended him. It was his own design, a cage built from paranoia, pride, and guilt. The man who once weaponized fear was finally consumed by it. And that's how monsters die, not with a bang, but with the echo of everything they tried to control. Sometimes, the most dangerous secrets aren't the ones you hide from the world. They're the ones you hide from yourself.